a major question looming in the Arizona Cardinals organization right now. Who will be their next head coach? Let's talk about it. Welcome into Cardinals Today, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and you're watching a brand new channel here at Chat Sports. Before we dive into all the candidates that the Cardinals could hire to replace Jonathan Gannon after he was fired yesterday, I want to tell you guys about this awesome channel we've got started that's going to eventually have daily Cardinals videos here. So join the channel. Help us get to 900 subscribers. We're off to a great start. Have 851 here. We just need 49 more to get to 900 subscribers. If you're a diehard Cardinals fan, we've got 7 new channels here at Chat Sports. If we could be the fastest to get to 1,000, we would show the bosses that Cardinals fans are the most diehard, the most dedicated, and it's got an awesome offseason coming up with head coach candidates, quarterback controversy, a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. You're not going to want to miss the updates. I'll have them for you, so hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into the candidates that could replace Jonathan Gannon. I want to start with Mike McCarthy because Cardinals fans, I think we're ready for a winning mentality. And I get it. He's a little old school, right? An older candidate, and it seems like maybe a younger guy is the way to go these days. But I really think Mike McCarthy could be your guy. This is a guy that coached 18 seasons as a head coach and went to 12 playoffs. He's a Super Bowl champion, 2010 with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. By the way, towards the end of his tenure, he was still having winning seasons. Won 12-5 3 years in a row in Dallas from 2021 to 2023. And just from the Cardinal fan perspective, you know, this is a team that was told the rebuild's over. And what happens? You're picking 3rd overall in the NFL draft. So a guy that's been around winning franchises, has a winning mentality, I think that's what Arizona needs right now. Okay? We're done building. We've got to make a push. We're 8-9 last year, and then all of a sudden you come out and win 3 games. It's time for some winning, and I think Mike McCarthy is a candidate that can help you do that. Next up, talk about an old friend of the Arizona Cardinals, and that's Kliff Kingsbury. And there's actually been some breaking news that Kingsbury is parting ways with the Commanders. It's a mutual agreement. He is hitting the market and probably wants to pursue some head coaching opportunities, at least going to be a coordinator elsewhere. And I would remind Cardinals fans that when Kingsbury was the head coach, it wasn't all bad. 2022, I was out on him. I was like, yeah, I don't like him as a head coach. But I think I was having a short-term memory here because the year before, the Arizona Cardinals made the playoffs. You had an 11-6 season. You lost in the wild card round, and I'd argue that the Kingsbury years were better than the Gannon years. Gannon had 3 straight losing seasons in a row. And so Kliff Kingsbury will be an option. He's an offensive-minded head coach, right? And I think that Arizona right now, with the problems they've had, both offensively and defensively in 2025, to be quite frank with you, but you couldn't help develop K1. You couldn't figure out this offense and this quarterback situation, and you have pieces. McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not giving up on him. People trying to say he's a bust. I watched a lot of Ohio State tape. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a first-round talent, ladies and gentlemen. And Michael Wilson's a gem, okay? He's athletic, he's tall, makes contested catches, athletic grabs. Spectacular player that Arizona has. There's a lot of receiving weapons. They're going to figure out their quarterback, and I think you need an offensive-minded head coach. But Kingsbury, that's never going to happen, in my opinion. He's not going to make this return to Arizona, but he is a candidate that's hot right now. Another hot candidate on the list, former Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. What are you getting with Kevin Stefanski? There's 2 sides to this story because I would argue Stefanski is going to be one of the hottest candidates on the market right now. He's a top guy that most organizations are going to give an interview to. It's a 2-time Coach of the Year. It's rare that one of those opens up, and I do think that award's a little bit overblown. But Stefanski will be a guy that Arizona, I believe, will look at. He was only one of 2 Browns coaches to have 11-plus win seasons twice and 2 playoff appearances with Cleveland. That's hard to do. And towards the end of his tenure, though, it started to slow down. You know, the problems that you had with Gannon, play calling being stale and predictable, that's what Kevin Stefanski was doing in Cleveland the last 2 years. Only amounted 8 wins. Overall record's a losing record. And, he has a very even-keel approach, okay? So Gannon, as you guys know, could be a little bit cringe, not very outspoken as well. Stefanski, maybe a little bit more formal, put together, but he's not going to energize you. He didn't energize the Browns fans, I'll tell you that for sure. So there's 2 sides to that story, but he's going to be a top candidate on the market, and he's supposed to be known for his offensive mind. Didn't work the last 2 years in Cleveland, but he's a guy that I think Arizona will give an interview to. You tell me in the comments section before we get to the last list of candidates for Arizona. Who do you think should be the Cardinals' next head coach? Give me a name in the comment section below. I want to know who the Cardinals fans think. The Red Sea, if you will. I don't know why they call them that, but some people do, some people don't. You comment down below the name you want in Arizona for the next season. And let's get into some other candidates. These ones I think will interest you a lot, Cardinals fans. Klint Kubiak. He's starting to get interviews. Like I said, even though the Cardinals' defense was atrocious, gave up 40 multiple times this season, the offense, if you're going to go with a new quarterback, you're going to want a head coach that can develop him right away. And Kubiak's a guy that can do that even though it's interdivision. Another interdivision candidate that I think Arizona's going to take a look at and should look at is Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator. He's part of the McVay coaching tree. He worked under Kyle Shanahan. You want to talk about a guy that's been in genius offensive systems, a guy that knows the NFC West? Mike LaFleur could help turn this ship around, ladies and gentlemen. And Gannon was a loser in the NFC West. His record's awful. Against the Niners, 2-4. Against the Rams, 1-5. 0-6 against Seattle. Maybe this intrigues you to poach an NFC West guy like Kubiak, like LaFleur, and turn this offensive ship around for the Cardinals. Start getting wins in the NFC West. Start competing in that division. It's a tough division. Stafford's not going to be there much longer, though. When things open up, you don't want a guy that can get this thing going quick. And I would consider Kubiak and LaFleur to be the ones to get that done. But like I said, defense is a massive issue in Arizona this year. So I will give you two more names that are very defensive-minded. Brian Flores. I think he's going to be one of the hottest candidates in this cycle. I think he's going to be one of the more sought-after DCs here. And this market, quite frankly, is more defensive-heavy. So Flores going to get multiple interviews. He's arguably one of the best defensive coordinators in all of the league. Or I should say arguably the best DC. And the Vikings actually finished their season relatively strong. So look out for him. Also look out for another Cleveland Brown, Jim Schwartz. What he has done with that Browns defense, the way they're still playing when Cleveland's completely out of it, and the Browns finished their season off on a 2-game win streak against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. It's not easy teams to stop, especially the Bengals to stop offensively, but the defense showed up and showed out and carried them in those games. Jim Schwartz has been phenomenal. Cleveland had a top 5 defense by total defense, and so you can get a guy like him who's been a head coach before. He coached the Detroit Lions, had a playoff season with them as a head coach. Here's two defensive names for you guys to look at. Maybe even a Vance Joseph reunion for Arizona as well, but I didn't think you'd like that one. So those are some names for Cardinals fans. Make sure you subscribe because when they do officially hire their next head coach, well, I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to make a video for you guys analyzing it, tell you if it's the right move. So help us get to 900 subscribers. Like I said, we're only 49 subs away. Really do appreciate everybody tuning into this edition of Cardinals Today. And like I said, I'll have off-season coverage for you all off-season long and into next year. Hit the sub button. Thank you guys for being here.